really of all time if it happens. According to multiple sources, Boxing Insider was the first to report this news, and also TMZ Sports also picked up on it. Logan Paul, Antonio Brown are targeting an April fight. No, I'm not shitting you. No, I'm not joking. No part of this is like we completely slipped into some time realm because none of this shit makes sense anymore. But apparently Antonio Brown got with a boxing coach. Now, I'll tell you guys, if you guys have all seen that Antonio Brown's a little bit crazy. He's really crazy. He's completely off the rails. This man is fucking nuts, okay? So I'm not gonna say that's gonna happen. But if he puts the pen to paper, legally obligated to, at some point for it to happen. So we'll see what happens, but apparently, Antonio Brown and Logan Paul are targeting an April fight on DAZN, and I'll ask you, Angel Ortega, our boxing analyst, one of the greatest minds for boxing ever, undefeated as a boxer. I will ask you, who wins? If this fight happens in April on DAZN, who wins?
Dude, this would be the first time in history where an average human being, like on some Rocky shit, actually, would fight a generational athlete talent in boxing. And he's not a boxer. Antonio Brown's not a boxer by any means.
Looked terrible in training.
I mean, true. But you know what I mean, though. This is the first time we have a athletic, talented human being of that caliber entering the sport versus an average man in Logan. Not completely average. Logan's a athletic human being in and of itself. We don't know what extent his athleticism and his abilities go to because we've never seen him at the highest level of competition in wrestling or whatever, right? He's fighting what is a generational talent in football, right, Josh? Like Antonio Brown is that, right?
I'll say that, yeah. If he's probably the best wide receiver of the 2010s.
Yeah, we'll probably go down in history for something, right? You know, maybe not.
If not
for the antics,
for his meltdown. He got actually an hour ago. He got fired by his agent. So, yeah, I think he had 7 straight seasons of 100 catches. Don't quote me on that, but it was something crazy.
The guy's a very talented individual in the NFL. That's the point.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons of 100 catches or more.
There you go, 600 catches right there. Guy is a freak athlete, a freak of nature. He's insane in the membrane. You've seen it. It's true, though.
He's insane in the membrane.
He is. If this is to happen, this might be the biggest event in sports ever. Because of the clash that's happening here. You thought KSI versus Logan Paul was big? No. Antonio Brown versus Logan Paul will completely shut that shit down. The amount of money that will be generated, the amount of fans that will come out and support Antonio Brown, and the amount of Logan Paulers, the Mavericks, the support, love on the zone will be insane. It doesn't matter what happens. The outcome does not matter. All I know is we will get an amazing brawl. And let me tell you this. If Logan is to win this, talk about securing the bag. Like, talk about securing the bag as an average man. Meanwhile, I'm out here working. No, I was kidding.
I'm working my ass off for minimum wage.
I know. And then if Antonio wins, I mean, he just beat Logan Paul. He's not that crazy, but it's still kind of wild. And then if he would be crazy enough to continue into boxing, bro, and then Antonio Brown does some Bo Jackson type of shit, like, oh yeah, in boxing this ain't shit, you know? Like, what if Antonio actually like put his brain to it and became very? He's gonna go crazy.
I mean, whatever, bro. He's played football for most of his life. His brain is already mashed potatoes. I really don't think him fighting.
Boxing is not a smart idea, no.
No.
But man, is this great entertainment? And I think this is great for celebrity boxing is great right now, dude.
You know, I go on Reddit a lot. I go on r/boxing a lot. And they're all really upset about this because it's like, yeah, I'm getting really sick and tired of this celebrity boxing thing, and I'm like, dude, this is awesome. I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
It's for the culture.
It's for the culture. These people aren't putting that in. All right, you know.
You can't tell me Antonio Brown versus Peter Rapisberger wouldn't be great.
Jesus Christ. You know what? You know what's really funny about that? About Ben Roethlisberger and Antonio Brown? I read a story. It was a long-form ESPN article, and it was basically about, like, how Antonio Brown is doing now that he's, like, out of the league, and he's trying to turn himself around. He's going to therapy. Now, that was all bullshit. It was all a fluff piece. But, at one point they talked about, like, they gave an example of his, issues with Ben Roethlisberger, and I guess Ben Roethlisberger had, there was a story about, like, how, he did not allow people to, like, blast music in the locker room, and he's a starter quarterback, he's the leader, so people generally abided by that. And I guess one time Antonio Brown was listening to music, he had his music up in his locker, he wasn't listening via earbuds or anything, and Ben told him to turn it down, and Antonio's his exact quote was, "Fuck you, cracker." And
oh
he fucking walked off.
So something he said before.
Well, that's what he called Mike Mayock, the Raiders GM. Yeah, man, we need to see this happen. I predict a knockout for Antonio Brown if he pretends that Logan Paul is Roger Goodell.
Man, I don't even know, dude. I don't even want to give a prediction until it's officially announced and we talk about it the day before. I don't believe it's happening until that day, and I hope it happens, dude, because, like I said, KSI and Logan Paul happened in this last decade. In this decade, Antonio Brown versus Logan Paul will happen.
It's just, here's the truth, okay? I'm going to watch this on DAZN, and I'm gonna hate myself for it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a complete freak show.
We watched Logan Paul versus KSI, Josh. We can't hate ourselves more than any of that.
Yeah, that's true. We really can't hate ourselves any more than that. It's fucking insanity. It really is. Like, it's so crazy. This dude went from signing with the Raiders, like, he's signed a deal for, like, something insane, like a shitload of money, some long extension worth millions of dollars at the start of 2019, to having to fight Logan Paul to have any sort of career benefit because nobody wants him in the NFL.
It's all good. He'll join the XFL, then they'll see his talents.
Nah, XFL.
They don't want that, dude.
No, dude. XFL, they don't sign felons. They don't sign people with legal issues. So.
Oh, really? Like, is that actually a league rule, or you just mean me?
I don't know if it's a league rule, but I know they said they don't want people like that. And Antonio Brown's currently being investigated for like 3 rapes. So.
Oh God. I guess Colin Kaepernick isn't joining the league either, and he didn't even do anything wrong.
He didn't even do anything.
Oh man.
People talk about, like, this guy shouldn't get a shot in the league and this shouldn't happen. I'll tell you what, though. Antonio Brown not being in the NFL, but, like, sort of being in the NFL is a blessing for any time I want to play Madden franchise mode, because I can just pick him up off the pick him up off the waivers, and he's like a 95 overall. This man is so good at the sport, but he can't get his head out of his own ass, so now he's going to have to fight Logan Paul. Which by the way, I can't believe this is, like, all happened just because he said, like, I'll knock you out or something. Like, he tweeted him. And then Logan said, I'll drop you faster than the Patriots. Which, by the way, amazing line.
Oh, it was great.
Amazing line. So yeah, man, this is so ridiculous. And here's the greatest part. My dream, my big dream is in 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, okay? It's going to be, actually 2 weeks from this recording, okay, is Jake Paul versus Ani Sung-Gib, okay? My dream is they're going to have a press conference that week, and that's when they announce it. And they have them face off, and they start a fight at a press conference, and Jake fights Antonio Brown too, and this is all leading to the big money fight of Antonio Brown versus KSI.
Dude, no, what do you mean? It's going to be, if Jay gets to win against Anderson, Jake fights JJ, Logan loses to Antonio. JJ gets his last professional fight, because he's gonna fight Jake, beat Jake, and then start of 2021 they'll announce Antonio Brown versus JJ for the biggest fight, and then JJ will have a professional record of 4-0 at that, or he'll be what would he be at that point? 3-0 against. If he were to win at that point, or I don't know, would he be 4-0? I can't even think right now of any fights he's had professionally.
3-0. He's had 2 amateur, 1 professional.
So it'll be 2-0. That will make him. That'll be his third fight, right? Professionally, if he were to fight Antonio at that point.
Yeah.
And then he's gonna fight him for the title of entertainer.
The WBC, I guarantee you, will totally sanction that shit without a doubt. It will make a title up for it.
So much money if that were to happen. Dude, if I was Eddie Hearn, I'd be pushing this shit so hard.
Dude, I would. Oh my God, there's so much money to be made here.
I know.
I'm not
Why can't we be boxing promoters?
God damn it.